Hey guys, a lot of you ask me how to search for properties online. So if you're a real estate agent, you can use the MLS. But if you're not a real estate agent, like most of you watching this video, I'm going to show you how you can use a website called realtor.com, and I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see how I search and how you can do the same thing. Okay, I'm using realtor.com, and the reason I like to use that with my students is because you do not need to be a real estate agent in order to use the site, and it's completely free to use. All right, so the website is realtor.com right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a search based on my market, right? So I'm located in Florida. So I'm going to put in a market that I like to invest in, which is Port St. Lucie, one of the markets that I like to buy rentals in and fix and flips. All right, so I'm going to type in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and the default is going to show you relevant listings. So the first thing I want you to do is go here and change that to lowest price, because we want to sort from low to high, right? Now, the next thing that you need to do is you need to choose the property type, because it's going to default usually to either raw land or mobile home. So I'm going to go to property type, and I'm going to select single family, say done. Now, at this point, the properties that are going to be shown on the screen could be contingent or pending, or they could be active, right? So you can see some of them say pending and contingent. So to screen out those that are already under contract, I want to see only those that are active. So I'm going to say hide pending. And I also want to see existing homes. I don't want to see necessarily new construction or anything else. And I'm also going to say hide 55 plus communities, right? So I'm looking for basically existing single family homes, no new construction, no 55 plus, and I'm sorting by low to high, and I'm going to go ahead and click done. So now at this point in time, I can see there are 538 homes for sale in Port St. Lucie, Florida on realtor.com, and they are sorted low to high. All right. Now it does help if you have specific product knowledge of your market. Like as an example, if you know that this community over here is an HOA community which is less desirable than non-HOA communities, right? And also if you understand the area codes and the zip codes and understanding the difference between, let's say, 34983 versus 34952, that really helps. But I'm going to give you some basic stuff to get started. When you click on any listing, like let's say this one, a couple of things that you can see. For example, you can see how the listing agent, and you can get their information. You can call them. You can also see how long the property has been on realtor.com, the year it was built. And the really important one I want you to pay attention to is this one, the price per square foot. All right, so that's $185 per square foot, which is pretty cheap, right? So that's looks like more of an investor deal. Let's compare that to the next one, which is $260,000, and that one over there is $281 per square foot. So there's $100 per square foot price differential. All right. So now if you have access to the MLS, you're actually able to sort the MLS by price per square foot. If you don't have access to the MLS, you have to do it this way. So what you really need to understand in your market is when you're pulling up comparable sales is what do things sell for. So I could tell you that things in this market sell for anywhere from $270 to $320 a square foot, let's say. So this property priced at $281 per square foot is about in line. Keep in mind on a price per square foot that lower small square footage is going to work out to a higher price per square foot than larger houses. All right, so adjust accordingly for that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through. So what I like to do is I like to scroll through, and you can see how you see 21, 22, 21. I like to scroll through till I get the 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms. All right, so you can see right here there's no 3 bedrooms below 280,000, and the first 3 bedroom that's coming up is 280. Now, keep in mind, don't get confused by these because these are actually ads. It says over there advertisement. All right, so this guy advertises quite prolifically in Port St. Lucie as an example, so don't get distracted by those. Really what's happening here is the cheapest property for sale right now today in this town is $214,999, followed by this $219, and then a $260, pretty big jump. Then it goes $260, $275, $279, $279, $280, and so forth. All right. So when you're looking at this, a couple of things that you can do. Number one, pay attention to price. Number two, pay attention to square footage. So if you look at this, 813 square feet is quite a bit smaller than 1188 square feet. So what I like to do is scroll down and look for larger square footages. So for example, this one over here has 1290 square feet. If I click on this one and I scroll down, the price per square foot is 202 a foot, right? Now if I go back and I click on the next listing, that's only 882 square feet, and I click on this one, and the price per square foot is going to be higher. It's 312 a foot, right? So remember what I said, in this market, they could be anywhere from 270 to 320, 330 a foot. So you as an investor are looking for a deal, right? So as I scroll through these, paying attention to the price per square foot can really help, and also looking for larger square foot can help. A lot of times people go for the cheapest property, like the 260 or the 250, but there may be a slightly higher price property that's got a larger square footage that comes out at a better price per square foot, right? So as an example, this is 1,044, that's 1,079. This is 1,300 feet. So let's click on this one. It's quite a bit bigger than 900 square feet, and that one's priced at $220 per foot, right? So that's one of the first things that you can do, is just to identify price per square foot. Now, another thing you can do is just understand your market in general. Like as an example, there's 538 homes for sale. So if you go under the more filter category, before I do that, actually, let me show you beds and baths. If I go into beds and baths, I say there's 538 homes for sale. Let's see how many of them are 3 bedrooms. It shows you 492. So that means there's 538 homes for sale total. 492 of them are 3 bedrooms. So if you have a 2-bedroom house, as a seller, you're at a distinct disadvantage because there's only 42 bedrooms, but there's 492 3 bedrooms. All right. So it behoove you as an investor to pay attention to the 3 bedrooms, because I'd rather get a 3-bedroom for 280 than a 2-bedroom for 260. Make sense? All right. Number 2. Take a look at these more filters. A couple of ones that are good to look at is the plus pool, and look down there and see how many listings there are. If you scroll down, there's 183 results. That means there's 183 out of 539 houses. 183 of them are 3 bedrooms with a swimming pool. So those would be more desirable than houses without a swimming pool. And pay attention to where those start out at. So for example, this one's 327,000, quite a bit more than 260, but it's 1,500 feet. And if you click on it and you scroll down, you see it's at only 216 per square foot. And keep in mind, this is a market where things can go to 320 or 330 a square foot. So as I scroll through the pictures of this and try and get an idea of the condition of this house, then I can see what we're dealing with. In this case, it looks like it's in pretty decent shape. So if you're looking for a rental or an Airbnb as an example, that might be something that could potentially be of interest to you, right? So I can see just by scrolling through these pictures, I want to see what the inside looks, what the outside looks at. Now in this situation, this is not an REO, it's not a bank-owned property, it's priced as a retail sale. Its mortgage calculator is estimating $2,300 a month, which is the estimate. So for an Airbnb, this could work quite nicely if I could get $250 or $300 a night. And this would be a retail play, right? So your goal here would be to make an offer and try and see if you could get them down to 320 or to 310 or to a number that would make sense for you, all right? So a couple of other things that you can do, going back to your search, I'm going to take out now the more filters. I'm going to exclude pool. And what I'm going to do now, and this is a very big one in today's market, pay attention to this because this one can make you some money. I'm going to go down to home age. All right. Now keep in mind that right now it's showing me 183 homes that are 3 beds. Let me just see what we have under more filters. Okay, there we go. So we've got 493 homes that are 3 bedrooms. All right, in this market. Now I'm going to go down to more filters and I'm going to type in home age and I'm going to say no more than 3 years. I'll scroll down. I'm going to see a little number over there, 76 results. All right, so that means that out of 493 homes for sale, 76 of them are no older than 3 years, which is interesting. I'm going to go down here now and I'm going to change this to 1 year. And that number is now going to go to 27 results. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. And this is what I want to point out to you guys, because a lot of people, I think, in this market are missing this. So now I'm sorted low to high, 3 bedrooms plus, homes that were built in the last year. There's a 3-2 brand new construction for $376,000. It's 1,501 square feet. Let's go ahead and click on this and look at it. And that is built in 2024, and the price is only $251 a square foot. Now, keep in mind that in this market, we've got stuff selling at $320, $330 a foot. In fact, I just recently sold one at $325 a foot. So to me, a brand new construction at $251 a foot represents pretty decent value. So you could call up the builder in the situation and say, hey, are you willing to give a seller credit? Are you willing to put financing in place? And I've seen situations where they're giving up to $16,000 seller credit and they're giving, 4% mortgages. And so that does not look like a bad long-term buy to me at that kind of price point and that kind of price per square foot, right? So always be paying attention to your market, because if there's 530 homes for sale and 490 of them are 3 bedrooms and 27 of them were built in the last year, or, I think it was 70 something were built in the last 3 years, then you really want to be paying attention to that. Stuff like the home age, I can change this down to 3 years. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to some of the other filters and I'm going to change this. So from 3 bedroom, I'm going to change this to 4 bedroom, because 4 bedrooms is always more desirable than 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change under more filters, home age. It says 3 years, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the size under more filter, and I'm going to say home size. I'm going to say at least 1,500 square feet. So I'm going to pull out some bigger houses that are 4 bedrooms that are built in the last 3 years, and I see 53 results. And I'm going to pull them out, and now I've got one here. It's a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 1,800 feet, 388,000. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this house was built in 2021, so it was built 2 years ago. Price at $212 a foot, and that's a deal. So if you were a regular non-wholesale buyer, retail buyer with a mortgage, and you could call them up and offer them, let's say, $370 for this house, you'd be getting yourself a pretty good deal. You could do the math on that, $370,000 divided by 1,833 square feet, and you'll be paying probably around $200 a foot, which is pretty good for a newer home that looks in pretty good shape. And that's the kind of thing I'd be looking at if you were looking to get yourself a long-term hold or something to move into, or maybe something that could be an Airbnb, all right? So paying attention to your market, the same principle applies in any market. Make sure that you're looking at that. So I can go in here and I can change it to, like, let's say another market I like and I invest in is called Palm Bay. And I can do the same principle. So start out, before you do anything, delete all the qualifiers and all the more filters, all right, so that you don't have anything in there, and see how many homes are available. In this case, I think I'm going to have to start from the beginning to refresh the list. So I'm going to go to Palm Bay. I'm going to hit enter and start out with a broad market. Okay, so this is 2,577 properties, but that's including townhouses, condos, and everything. Now I'm going to go to property type, change it to single family. 2,500 is going to go down to this number coming up on the screen any second, and that is 1,200. All right, so it tells you this. Out of 2,500 properties, 1,300 are not single families. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to change the relevant listings to lowest price. I want to see what's affordable. And then I'm going to go to listing status. I'm going to say existing homes, hide pending. I'm going to say hide 55 plus. And I'm going to say done. And now I'm going to look and see that there's only 242 homes. So right there, I can tell there's an incredibly large amount of pending properties and very little inventory available for sale. But I can see where the pricing is at: 215, 218, 229, etc. And this can play very well for you, because you can see, like as an example, I was offered a 3-2 by a wholesaler yesterday, the day before, for like 189. Here's one right on the market at 215. So why would I buy a property at 190, throw 30, 40 grand into it to be into it at the same price as a retail listing on the MLS? Makes no sense. But paying attention to this and understanding this number and this variable and how many homes there are, and then being able to play around with these filters and say, well, how many of these homes are actually brand new? So in this case, I'm going to say, like, let's say 1 year max. From 242 homes, that number goes down to 2 results. So now there's 2 homes over here that are showing that were built in the last year, and I can see the price point on them, right? So here's a 3-2, there's a 3-2, 1,900 feet, 385, right? So I'd like to zone in on that stuff, because on a price per square foot, it looks like a pretty decent deal. If you can get the builder to give you a credit and to give you long-term financing, remember right now, mortgages at 7% plus. If the builder is willing to give you a 3.5 or 4% mortgage and is willing to give you a $16,000 credit, that could be a good long-term play. All right, so play around with realtors.com. Same principle applies in any market. So whatever city you're in, if you're Los Angeles, whatever it might be, you can type that in. You can do the exact same thing. Search by what you're looking for, search low to high, and start making offers. All right, so pretty straightforward. Just want to give you guys a brief lowdown video on realtors.com. If you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.